another interesting episode of Inside Out, and this week we'll be talking marriage and career. Is it possible to have the best of both worlds? Can you have a very successful marriage and a very successful career? Can both go hand in hand? Especially, I mean, we'll be talking mostly about the women now. A few weeks ago in the news, and I think it was the second one in the space of 6 months, where it was said that a house help kidnapped 3 children, thereabout. And what was shocking to me was that the house help had been employed like 2 days before, 1 day before, online, and she had to rush back to work. So the thought is, which one is more important to have taken care of? Is it the job, i.e. the career, or the home? Which one? Can you have the best of both worlds? And if you will have the best of both worlds, what do you have to do? Is there anything you have to give up? A lot of the time now, they say homes are crumbling. Children's values our moral values are going down the drain. And the culprit seems to be the home. There is a sort of breakdown in our value system. Does this have anything to do with women chasing careers? Does it have to do with marriages breaking up? That is what we'll be discussing here today. And I'm going to be introducing my guests. Let me start with, from my left, Mrs. Okuyiga. She's Deputy Registrar Academics, Michael Otedola Primary School, Primary Education Board. You're welcome, Ma, to the program. Mr. Henry Ogbulogu. Yes. Why did you remember it? He is a public relations person. He's a career man. Mr. Ima Onyike, you're welcome to Inside. Mr. Moses Oguntiron, you're an interior decorator. Yeah, you're welcome. You will notice that we have a lot more men on the panel. It's intentional. We want to know what you think about it. Mrs. Okuyiga, let me start with you as the only woman on the panel. Is it possible for a woman to have a successful career and a successful marriage?
Very, very possible.
It's very possible?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on priority. You've got to prioritize everything you do in life, and you have to set a goal for yourself. Like when I was training my children, there was no conflict between training and my work, because early, very, very early in the marriage, even before the issue of kidnapping, we decided that we're not going to use any house help.
How did you, so you were a housewife then?
No, I was working.
How do you do that?
What we did is we found that there are a lot of pilfering in the house when we had 2 or 3 house girls, and my husband said, it can't continue like this. So we brought in people to work for us. Like, we brought in cleaner and dry cleaner. Saturdays to come in and wash. We brought in people that come and clean the house 3 times in a week. We come, Saturday wash the floor, and early in the morning, I drop the kids at the daycare. Those who are old enough to go to school, they go to regular school. That's what we did.
So what you did, but I mean, you go to work.
I go to work.
You come back from work. You go and pick the children from the daycare.
Yes.
Then you pick the ones that go to school. What do they do?
Fortunately, we decided to have a school very close to the house also. So the ones that are big enough, they just walk down to the house. And
who cooks for them? Who gives them food?
I do the cooking before I go to work in the morning. I make sure I have breakfast and lunch for them. When they're going, it's a policy they must have their breakfast in the morning. So, and they go to work.
What time do you close?
I close at 4.
Okay, civil service.
Yes, civil servant.
Okay, so then what you're saying is that you have to take the kind of job that suits as a woman.
As a woman.
Really?
For you to oversee your house.
So a woman, for instance, what if she's a banker?
She can still cope like
How?
that. She can cope by organizing cooking on Saturdays. Mass cooking on Saturdays, different type of food in the house. Because you cannot say because you want to be in banking and you want at the same time to be at home and look after your children, you are now thinking about, oh, can I leave my banking and go into civil service? If you don't have job satisfaction, you will not be happy. So you can still be in your banking, but the aspect of food, feeding in the house, on Saturday.
What about the aspect of who stays at home with the children when you are still at work?
There are after schools now. After schools.
You leave them in an after school?
Yes, until 6. When you are coming back from work, you pick them up.
Wow.
There are after schools now.
Okay. What's your opinion on career women? Can you run a career and a marriage?
Highly impossible.
What do you mean?
It is not possible to have a good marriage and at the same time have a career.
Why would you say that?
Okay. My reason is that, for instance, I personally, if I got married, I have a courtship for 10 years.
10 years?
10 good years.
That's like... With the same person?
With the same person.
And she agreed?
Yeah.
10 years of her life?
Yeah.
I'm interested. What were you looking for?
2001. We met 2001.
Yes.
And got married in 2011. With the same person.
Why?
Okay. Here's already the reason. I stay very close to Satellite Town, First Tax side. And then I was doing, after school, this kind of skill I want to be part of. So I was going to the learning. And after a while, after 4 years, I got a job on Highland. Now I have to move. Then, before I even accepted the job, I called my fiancé, this is what is ahead of me. Can I accept the job? Can I go on with the offer? How do we communicate? How do we call? How do we make contact? Will it be possible among the two of us to have continued our relationship? What I'm coming to say is career. Either you are a banker. No, it's one, I'm a commercial student. I know I read accounting before. I just love to be skilled.
What does your wife do?
My wife also did accounting.
So she's sitting at home now?
I'll come in, ma. My wife does accounting. Likewise, I'll tell you that she's sitting at home. One is that I have personal work. I'm self-employment.
Yes.
After a couple of after marriage, I discovered that when we need to settle down, we need to study each other. Even despite that we have met for like 11 years before.
What are you still studying? How many more years do you need to study?
That is the problem, madam. That is where the problem lies nowadays. Let me tell you what we need to study. Why we need to study. There are things that we think we all know, but we don't know them. One is that, you see, career and marriage cannot go together.
Why?
My goes together,
you haven't told
but to me,
why.
it is absolutely no. The reason why is this, I'm a man. I know what I'm capable of. Even if a woman has $1 billion, it's not my concern. I still have to give her. I still have to do my best.
Do you think that if she has a career, then she's going to not? I don't know.
Because you can't do two at a time.
What? But you are married and you have a career now. Madam. Are you saying women? Because when you say you can't do two, you mean women cannot do two at a time?
Man are here to provide everything that the family needed. See what I'm saying? Now, if you are coming to...
Are you providing everything your wife needs?
God is providing it through me. why it is not possible to have a career and have a good marriage is this. One, there are rules that a father has to play for the family. And there are rules that mother has to play in terms of marriage. At the same time, there is no how you can have career and a good marriage. Because office hour is 8 o'clock. If my wife boss asks her to resume by 8, who am I? Or to ask her to not prepare a cup of tea for me to drink by 7:45. Absolutely, it is not. It can't work.
So, okay, we're not going to get into the conversation yet. Let me hear the other men. Mr. Emma, let me ask you the same question. Is it possible to have both? Let me start from where he stopped. If your wife's boss tells her to resume at 7 and you want a cup of coffee at 7:45, what will you do?
Oh, all right. Well, in the first place, I'm not likely to ask for a cup of coffee by 7:45 when I know my wife works, and she does work. When you look at the realities, let me begin from the economic aspect of
Your wife
things.
does what?
She works.
Where?
All right, she works in a school.
Okay, so she closes early.
Well, she doesn't, it's not your regular kind of school. She's still at work by 5 in the evening. So it has its own disadvantages. But the truth is, if you know where you want your family to get to in life, financially and otherwise, morally, emotionally, your children, yourselves, that's the big picture. And then you have to put vehicles that will help you get to that place. If you have a family where there is one provider and you have another family where there are 2 providers, you find that except if the one provider is an all-powerful provider that nets in income that is in several zeros every month or every year, you will find that you may be able to afford your food. But there are certain projects, you want to own a house in 5 years, in 2 years, you may need to take a slow walk towards that goal. And then other things too, you want to travel, you want to be able to reach out to people. That's my own establishment for the reason why a woman and a man in marriage might need to work. And then when you understand that and you want to be able to say, this is the main income, the other one is a passive income. The passive income can be channeled towards our savings or whatever, and then you're already on your way towards where you want to get to. So to that point, I think it's necessary that the 2 persons, the 2 principal persons in a marriage, the man and the wife, need to engage themselves productively. And then you look at other economic realities.
What about the children? Where did the children come in this?
Well, that's a good question. When you know where you want to get to economically and otherwise, and I use the word emotionally, involving the children, what kind of children do you want to raise when you're making all the money? You need to also structure a plan, choose the kind of profession or work that your wife needs to be doing, or vice versa. So the man might.
So somebody has to give. It doesn't necessarily have to be the woman.
Indeed. That's where you begin to look at, do I need to get a house help? Which these days, like you rightly started when we began, is something that gives you some level of trepidation. You want to be sure that you have the right kind of person that can take care of your children. There are families that will tell you, we don't want, for instance, mine, we've said to ourselves, we're not going to have any house help.
Why?
So,
how come? How do you want to do that with your wife working?
Well, how or why?
How? All of the above.
Okay. As to why, there's this thing about your children being like you, necessarily, or not necessarily being like you, but forming out into the person you want them to be. And there's a fear at the back of your mind that you bring them close to a maid, they may begin to form like the maid, think like the maid, use language like the maid when you are not there. And so it's important for you to also, at that point, if you choose, say, I don't want a maid. Then, like I was saying before, how? To answer your point as to your question as to how. Then the man, I don't want to use the word the woman now, so it doesn't look like. someone has to choose a job that allows for time with the children. There are daycares now. The truth is, somebody has to pay the price at some point. You may look at a few more hours for the children in school until one person leaves his job or her job to pick them up.
So what you're saying in principle is the children have to pay the price?
Well, you won't look at it that way. Parents on their own are paying a price one way or the other, providing, getting salaries, paying school fees, buying this and buying that. At some point, becomes impossible for you to close by 2 o'clock in the afternoon when you know you have to be at work till 6. So the children will be made to understand that they have to give a little bit of sacrifice. There are families, let me remind you, that have aunts, uncles, who are maybe, students or have flexible businesses that allows them. They could go pick the children, put them in their homes, and then the parents will come back in the evening and pick them. So that's to how. But there are a lot of other things as to how you can work around the problem. My point is that you can have a great career, and you can have a great marriage at the same time.
This is just to get an overview. Henry, what's your opinion?
Madam, this topic is something every day people make cases for or against. But to me, I think one can have a great career and a great marriage without any of the family suffering.
What do you think is, because society now, there's a lot going wrong.
Yeah.
And it has been blamed on the fact that women no longer have time for their children.
Let me correct one impression. When we talk about career, we are not talking that it must be a pilot. There are so many things we can do as a woman that is a career is just contribute to the family.
Okay. I have studied accountancy. What career would you recommend that I do that would enable me have a great home?
If you teach and still want to run your own school, you are building a career as a teacher.
No, I'm not a teacher. I said if I'm an accountant.
Why do you want me to teach? Can't you teach accounting in school?
No, I want to practice as an accountant. You're a banker. Why wouldn't I work in the bank?
Good. Yes.
What you are saying, from what I understand, is you want me to do a manageable career. If possible, open a shop that will be closing. While you pursue your own career.
I didn't say women. I say it depends on the career, either a man or a woman. Because this gender issue is a social construct.
The reason why I'm asking you is that you as a banker don't need to work in the bank. If I choose, what if I'm hotter than you? And I'm your husband. Let me work in the bank. Go and teach in this school.
Good.
You close at 2 o'clock.
Provided we understand it. Because one of the problems we have, why some people blame career and marriage breakdown, is because they marry wrong partners.
Okay.
Wrong. That's the major issue.
Okay. First of all, it's getting the right
person. It's not just about because I am a banker, I am a pilot. Whoever you are, you can manage your home. I'm married. My wife is working. I have 4 kids. They are growing. We manage them. We have the responsibility to do so. Make sure the marriage works. Every month I make sure I take the bath. I bath them. I dress them for school. We leave the house together. Me and my wife, because we've agreed. Then the girl staying with me. When she was in primary school, she attended the same school with my children. You must value person staying with you. Sometimes why some of this doesn't happen because women, they find it difficult to value somebody staying with them that as if their own child. I made that a point. Whatever these kids are enjoying, this girl should enjoy because she has a role to play in their life. By the time you understand some of this, you know that everybody is important. There's no second-class citizen. If you get it so that you know that this career, we can manage it because I need the career, I need the marriage. So we must work hard.
So it is deciding what your priorities are.
Yes. So when you get it right, you work towards that, discuss more. And when your children are growing, you discuss with them also. Communicate very well. So that. So I don't see what is happening now. I can say, during our own era, I never saw my mom stay in one place. We were trained very well. She was into trading, but she did it with all her zeal. Sometimes I was thinking my mother was richer than my father. Sometimes I was thinking.
Most likely was.
It's likely because whatever we need, she provides. The only time my father comes is when we want to pay school fees. Those basic things, my mom was there because she worked hard for it. She never affected our relation, our upbringing. We have some people staying with us, we accommodated them. But the issue that these days, we need to plan our home, and whoever we say they want to stay with us, let's respect that person, give that person the same love we are giving to our children. That family can work.
Let me talk to you. I want to know, what's your opinion on this?
I totally disagree with the last man that just talked to us now.
Why will that be?
I don't really need to say this, but I'm sorry I have to say it. I see it as a taboo.
Sorry?
A taboo for a lady to pursue a career and forget about the family stuff. Ask me how.
What do you mean? I'm in shock. That's why I'm...
Yes. Because the reason why I'm saying this, sorry, as a lady, a married woman, your home comes first.
Yes.
Like this gentleman here said, he said your mom, you never saw your mom stay in one place. Yes. That was then. But presently now, I see it as if you leave the home for your house help or for any other person, how will you train your kids? Like me standing here, what I told my wife before I got married to her, I said, Madam, please, we are getting married. She said, yes. I said, you are into medical stuff. How are we going to do it now? She said, don't worry, I know where you are going to. I'll handle the home for you. And she's doing it for me.
So she's sitting at home.
She is, hello. She's sitting at home. And a lot of people are doing the same thing too. And the family is moving very, very well. There's no trouble. We have what we want by the grace of God. God provides through me, like this gentleman said. So what I'm trying to say here is that, okay, take example now. A lady walking, leaves the home. The kids wake up. They don't see their mom. The house help takes care of them. Takes them to school, brings them back, cook for them. The lady comes back in the night. Before she comes, the kids are already sleeping. How are they going to do that? If it's the man that is doing that, no problem, we'll understand. Like weekends now, I don't go to anywhere. I must stay at home with my baby to make sure we play together. Not that you will not work. When the kids grow up to a certain level, I'll release you to go and work.
You will release me. Do you believe that the reason why a lot of homes are collapsing and children, is it because women are working?
Yes, exactly. That is where I was coming to.
Do you think that fathers have any role to play in that collapse?
No.
Do you think that your wife can be at home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and your children still turn out wrong?
No, it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Not possible.
How is that not possible?
The issue there, that's her duty now. She has to take care of the kids, teach them good morals, teach them the family ways, teach them the way of God. That's her duty.
Let me just advise us. If you have not worked for 10 years because you want to release your wife to work when the kids have grown, it is not possible. You must think, after when the children have grown, what will be the position of that woman? You must think, it's not just because we want to say something. Young people are listening.
Yes.
We must say something can be practicable. We must say something we can practice, something that is obtainable. What we should think about there is how to marry these two, career and marriage together. We don't just say because you have mega boss. Everybody doesn't have mega boss.
When you make your wife to sit down at home, you are pointing something to the children. You are telling them that even after reading, after studying, after this, they can just be lethargic in the house without doing anything in the house. Do
you have any daughters, Songito?
So, and
you have a daughter. Do you have any daughters?
I'm about to.
You're about to.
particularly for a female child. Particularly for a female child, it's very, very bad for that child to just think that the mother can just sit down at home. She too can have that aspiration that she can just sit down at home and be feeding on her husband another time. And two, intellectually is not okay. The woman is not able to intellectually discuss with people, relate with people, discuss with everything that's going on around her. She might not be looking, just watching the television. We talk about technology, that she can be on with the technology. No, she cannot get everything on that. Because even if she gets it, she cannot relate. She needs to interact. She needs to talk with people. And when she goes out, that's when she can interact with people. And when you interact with people, you'll be able to lead your children in the right way, in the right direction.
So you're saying,
Yes.
what I can gather from what you're saying,
It's not about the money. It's not about money.
that
Thank you.
even the interaction and the going out
Yes.
helps in the training of
Of the
children.
Yes.
Yeah. What is your take on that?
Well, the truth about the whole thing is there are roles, there are expectations, looking at it from sociological perspectives and even economic. Families are like a moving train. The man starts his alone, he picks his wife, and then the children begin to come. They're all moving towards, someone said something, whichever direction we're all facing, we're all moving. Whether you're moving backwards or forward, you know. And so the family begins to gather a lot of steam, children come. One of the major focus of families is to make it in life, to be comfortable. You know, you start from small, then you begin to build capacity. And if the vehicles, I keep saying, for you to get emancipated.
But so, what do you have to say with what he said, that it's a taboo for a woman to be?
I'll get to that. You know, if these things are not there. Now, a man feels that traditionally or by his own thinking, he needs to provide for everything the family needs. He might be self-employed. He might be an importer of a particular goods. All of a sudden, there's a government policy. We're having a change of government, obviously. There's a government policy that says you cannot import these goods anymore. All right? We have to grow them internally. You don't have the capacity. You don't have the know-how. You don't have whatever to do it. And overnight, your business crumbles. You know, a lot of scenarios can be played up. You are the sole provider. Your wife has for 10 years, 15 years, 5 years been lying fallow, not contributing any dime to your well-being. All of a sudden, you are no longer able to even pay her the stipends or the salary that you pay her. What is going to happen to that family? So, then let me cut that off at that point. You look at it from another perspective. Even if you are the alagbara or you have the financial muscle to do everything that you want to do, what about the personal satisfaction that your wife will derive from feeling that she's productive, that she's working, that she can interact with people like the other speaker said? You know, money will not answer to all these things. You know, she needs also to feel alive. Let me remind you of one fundamental thing. Before getting married, a young lady obviously has a thought, an idea of who she wants to be. She obviously would have thought that I'd like to be a doctor, a banker, I'd like to earn money. My husband has all the money, but I'd like to have my own money, you know. Let me tell you something. When we're about dedicating our baby, I had to do a lot of run around. I wasn't looking for money at all, but I sat on my bed one morning planning things the day before the D-Day, and then my wife brings an envelope and she says, darling, just use this as support. I opened the envelope, it was a big money. It was a big money.
He said that's a taboo.
Well, that's so you can imagine. It was
It's
her
not
own
done.
money. It was her own money.
So that you will not collect that money if your wife was to give it to you.
I don't really feel it's necessary collecting that money from her, because let me comment. That was where I said let me
Is
help.
your wife not your partner?
She is, but there are two things here you have to check. Sorry, I am not speaking because we are maybe doing a program. I am speaking from the heart of my heart, and I know I'm speaking the minds of so many Nigerian men.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know they still existed like your brother.
What I'm trying to say, the first point here is women are no slaves. That's what you have to understand. My wife, she's very, very free. It's mutual agreement. Madam, these are the reasons why I feel you don't have to work now. It's not as if I just woke up and I imposed the stuff on her. I said, no, you will not work.
What if she disagreed?
That is where I said understanding comes in.
Okay, so the understanding is you understanding me, not necessarily me understanding you.
And another thing again, a man, you raised the question, Mama. You said,
Yes.
Providing when the kids grow, the finance has to be more, the spending or something like that.
Yes, will be more.
I advise every Nigerian young man, when you give birth to a baby, immediately after the naming ceremony, open an account for him or her. And you try everything possible to the little that you can pay. You pay in money every month, even though it's 5,000 naira. Before that baby grew up, if you check the account, that is if you are not ready to go there and withdraw one day. You will find out that the baby has money that will take her to a certain level. That's another thing. As per woman, as in your wife being idle, no. My wife, as far as I'm concerned, she's not idle.
What does she do?
I produce movies. And at home there, I give her jobs that she do. As in, tell her, madam, this is what I want you to do, this is what I want you to do. And she's happy doing it. At the end of the day, hello,
yes, no, you will answer her.
Sorry, I know
you enjoy the conversation. This is very interesting to me. I want to learn.
So what I'm trying to say here is, I give her those things, she do them right. And anytime I come back, I am supposed to be the one to do those things, but I'll find out, man, you don't have anything to do, you are very, very free. Relax yourself, eat, sleep. So what I'm trying to say here is, women don't need to work.
Sorry, let me correct one impression. Let me correct one impression. Let me not be deceived. The woman is engaged. She's contributing and making an economic contribution to that family. And that's a career. Yes. True or false? True. Why are we deceiving people?
Let's go on the break. We'll be right back. Do you call what he's doing a career for his wife?
Of course. That woman is making an economic contribution. What is career? It's making an economic contribution even to the economy and to that family. And if people...
No, I'm not sure I agree.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Because if you say your wife does not do anything and she has a job she's doing and makes money...
That is when he likes.
It's not when he likes.
When he wants to give her something to do. How is that a career?
It's not when he likes.
Madam, what is that a career?
That's an odd job. Ad hoc. I would call it an ad hoc job.
An ad hoc job?
Yeah, an ad hoc, because it's not consistent.
That's what I'm saying. It's not, and it doesn't take her out of the house.
It doesn't take her out of the house. It's at the instance of the man. It's what he wants to give that he gives the woman to do.
Sorry, if he's true to himself, he said, I'm a food producer. I did this role, so when I come back, help me sort these things. And each time there's a sorting, the woman does it. You would have spent money to do it outside, and money would have gone out. But you are doing it inside because you have somebody that is doing it for you, and you think that then is not contributing to the job.
But that's not a career, is it?
No, but she have taught her. He have taught her how to do it. It's not something you can just overnight and do. Somebody have the skill.
Can I just, I'm not trying to, but you can tell anybody in your house to do that job, and you won't even pay them. So how can that be the same thing as having a career?
Madam, what if he employs somebody to be doing that work? Yes.
Are you saying that you can sit inside your house, be given a job by your husband, and it will turn into a career?
Maybe we just do a bit of slight description, if not definition. Career basically is any job that gives you an opportunity for advancement, progress, and growth. So, and it borders also on something you love to do. What he gives her to do, we cannot call it a career, it's a job. Because by definition, there is no room for advancement. There is no room for progress. You're not going to say, she's an organizer of your movies, or maybe she reviews your movie, and then level 1. Next year, she's going to be promoted to level 2. In 5 years' time, she's going to be the director of,
So basically,
there will be room for that. And because of that, it cannot be seen as a career. When she's working in an establishment, even if she owns that business, there has to be room for her to move from one level to another, and then she's advancing herself, whether academically or by knowledge and skill. So for that basis, it's just a job, it's not a career.
did you, when you met your wife, did you have a conversation with her about what she wanted to be or what she wanted to do?
I remember starting with that. The first thing I said here was that, we agreed.
Okay, yes, you said so.
And like my my girl, like you said, my wife, she reviews movies for me. That is one. And she tells me the audio here, the picture here, this one, that one. And presently, my wife is itching to be an editor in my house.
What are we saying?
Your wife is trying to pick up a career.
She's
trying to pick up a career.
Sorry, madam. Like
That's it.
I said here, I did not impose all these things on her. We agreed.
And she love it.
I gave her reasons why she has to stay at home. Her main reason of staying at home is just for the kids, not for anything.
So how long, according to your agreement, is she going to stay at home?
What I say is, I told her, I said, please, my kid must get to 2-4 years before you tell me you are going out to do anything. And like taking her out, the social aspect that you mentioned, every weekend, I take her out. To meet, not taking her out.
Can I quickly
Madam, sorry. I don't take her out, sorry, ma. I don't take her out maybe for snacks or no. I take her out to meet intellectuals. We discuss. Even my wife presently now, she counsels people on so many stuff.
That's one
But she's still
now.
not that on a Monday morning I will see my wife rushing out of the
You
bed
mentioned something
telling me that
that I have to come in. Hello.
Yes.
You said something that you be 2 to 4 years. Yeah? Do you mean the 2 to 4 years is the only years you allow the woman to stay at home? Then after 4 years, the woman is free to go.
If she's giving birth now to the first baby.
Yes.
And the child must get to 4 years. Then the
Yes.
next one will come. Who must also get to
Then
4
so-
years.
Yes.
Then the next one. So
Then
we're calculating
No,
12 years.
I'm not
Calculating like 12 years.
Well, let me ask you the same question.
Yeah.
How long is your wife going to stay at home for?
Thank you very much. Time is not really matter. What we have agreed from day one is that she's not going to work.
At all?
Well, I woke up like 5 o'clock, 6
What?
a.m. People you will see at the bus stop now are women. In fact, let me say 95% of the young are women. Why are they struggling? They are not meant to
Both of them
struggle.
sound alike, like twins.
Why are they struggling? They are not meant to
Are they not
struggle.
human?
That is the problem. Where the problem lies. It's we
So
men.
you're saying that once you see a woman struggling like that, there's something wrong with the husband.
Of course, something is wrong somewhere.
You're welcome back. We're still having our very interesting educational topic today. We have our marriage counselor in the house, Dr. Adefuanu. Am I correct? Yes. So my question, seriously, was because we've heard that there's so many things going wrong with the marriage today, the children in the house and all that. And a lot of it has been blamed to the fact that women are too busy pursuing careers now, and that is what is affecting the home. So the question is, can you have a good marriage and a great career at the same time? Is it possible, or does something have to give in the home?
Well, I think you can actually have a good marriage and a beautiful career. I'll use myself as an example. I'm a medical doctor. My husband is also a doctor. And he is a dentist. He closes by 4 p.m. I close at any time. Sometimes I could be on call, and I don't really have so much time, but I've learned to manage my time. Usually when we need to pick the children, he does the picking of kids by 4. I drop them in the morning.
See, Songito is doing his head up. Did you notice, like, which kind of man is that?
I drop them in the morning. He picks them by noon. They stay with the lesson teacher, and he's also at home with them. If I'm on call, I come back home by 5, cook, take care of the children, then go back to work by 8, come back by 1 a.m. And the next morning, I get to cook for my children, and no one is lacking anything at home.
So for you, what is the most important thing about balancing both to make sure you have both right?
So I feel the mother and the father should work together to make the home right. You can't just leave the job for the woman alone, and you can't dictate to your wife what to do. You should let her choose what she wants to do and find a way to manage
And support.
it. You should not say, this woman has money. Even if you have all the money in the world, your wife needs to be fulfilled. If staying at home will make her fulfilled, then so be it.
This issue is a delicate issue, you understand? If you, as one woman said, if your wife have to work, let her work close. Let the work be a place that is not far from the home. And the children, their school must not be far away from your home also. There are 2 couples that I know, you understand? They had 2 children, girls. The second daughter don't even know the father. They don't even know the mother again. They work in the bank. That they'll leave home in the morning and come back at night. When they come back, their children are sleeping. But the first daughter know them very well, because they are auditor in the bank. I don't know, but they come late.
Both father and mother.
Both of them.
It's only in Lagos now.
Both of them.
Well, I don't know if we believe in purpose and all that. That everybody is has an assignment here on earth that you're supposed to fulfill. If you do believe in that, then where is the place of the woman fulfilling her own assignment, which may be different from her being a housewife? What if she has a passion like you do? This is your career. What if your husband told you to sit at home? Would you be here? Would you be here, sir? Would you have been interviewed by her? Do you know? And many other great women out there doing great stuff. So what about those people out there? If their husband had told them to sit at home, their potentials wouldn't have been fulfilled.
That my dad agreed that my mom should work, so my mom got a job, and he himself got a job. So while I was growing up as a kid, doing that NPA struggle, my dad lost his job. Now, within the period he lost his job for close to 4 years. Now, throughout that period, they were all depending on my mom's salary. Are you getting me? Now, that's why I believe it is very essential for a woman to be able to balance her career and the family. Now, throughout that period, I was growing up as a kid. I had to go to school. They had to feed me and stuff like that. But because of my mother was a career woman, they were able to balance all that. It did not affect, they did not have to go and beg that, please give us money. Now, there are some men that are in that situation now. They've lost their job because of one thing or the other. They did not know it would come up. Now, what would you say about those kind of people? Would you not say, and you were saying something like, you were saying that you don't like begging. Are you getting me? Now, that alone can force you to beg. So, but there must be a placement of priority. Now, a woman can work, but it should not be at the detriment of her family. A woman that is going to work and closing by 10 p.m., and she knows she has a family, it's wrong. But there should be a placement of priorities.
Do you think that what if the husband has a job that makes him come early, like hers?
Well,
where he's home by 4, is it still wrong?
It's not wrong.
Okay.
It's not wrong. But I believe there should be a placement of priority. All of us will agree that the upbringing of a child is not only done by the mothers, it's done by the father and the mother.
Career and marriage, if it's possible to have the both of them. I think it's possible. But before I go to that, I read something about how women started having career, started going into career in the first place.
In Japan.
It was before the Second World War. Women were not going into doing career, pursuing careers. But during the Second World War, they needed men to be at the war front. And they had to leave their family back home. Then women took over the role of men, taking care of them. They had to look for it. See them working at the treadmills, making things just to keep the family while the husbands were at the war front. Now, after the war, most of the men, because they needed soldiers, they came back. When they came back, it was now balanced. Even the men, sometimes they had nothing. The women were now stronger. And from that time till now, it has remained like that. You see women pilots, you see women doctors, because at that point, it has not changed till now. But I think for you to have a successful career and successful marriage, there is need for you to prioritize and reprioritize. At times, there will be a time when in a woman's life, career will have to come first, and there will be a time when you have to consider parenting. Parenting will have to come before the marriage, because if you abandon any of them or place emphasis or overemphasize on one area, definitely the other area, either parenting or your career, will suffer. But at a point, you have to understand, you have to know which one should come first.
What I just want to say is there is this satisfaction you get when you're working as a woman. You know, you are meant, you'll be opportuned to meet a whole lot of people, wonderful people, that you can never meet when you're sitting down at home. As a woman, I cannot sit down at home. It's not possible for me. And what we just need is an agreement. There should be an understanding between the husband and the wife so that everything will work out well. It's just like when we're in school. You don't just do a particular course. You have so many courses that you have to do well in them. So also in marriage, you have to know how to manage your time, to take care of your house, of the home, of the children, and the career at the same time. So far, you can cope with different courses in school, and you come out well in them. I believe if you are able to plan well, you will be able to work out your marriage and your career. Thank you.
I think we need to clear what a career is and what a job is. You can be working, a lot of people are working, they have jobs, but they don't have careers. That being said, a woman can have a career and have a happy home. She can have a good marriage. The point someone made about women at the bus stop, I can give two reasons. I think because one, I don't really have statistics, but they say we have more women in the general population than men today. That's one. And two, the economy is not very friendly. If the woman sits at home, how will the family survive? Men have to work, but the women also have to support. Then, at the end of the day, it's all about understanding. You need to choose a career that will give you time for your family, be you be a man or a woman. I can have a career, be in my house, earn money, and still take care of my family.
We've run out of time, and I need to take last lines. Something that we want people to remember about this: managing your career and your marriage. Last line. Short, one line.
Thank you very much. Please, let there be kind of understanding. Study the man very well. Know what is what. Because at times, the man might decide, okay, I don't want you to work. But because of the career in which you find yourself, or what you have, your qualification, might say, I must prove it. Please, if you are not ready to subdue, if you are not ready to let go, if you are not a kind of person that that can make your own to sit, just know that anything can happen.
Yeah.
If you are not going to let go, anything can happen.
Yeah. Ima, last line.
Yeah, it's important for everyone to realize that marriage does not erase your individuality. You are an individual, you have your dreams, you are a woman, you have your aspirations. It is important for you to pursue it even while you are married. One of the ways you can have a great career and have a wonderful family is by doing the very commonest things. And the phrase is work-life balance. You know, your ability to be able to strike a balance between your work, career, and your family. If I have to weigh the family and your career, the family comes first. But you must also remember that one of the ways you can help your family is by being able to pursue a useful career, provide for them the best. Because if you sit at home with them, if you sit at home with them all day because you want to always take care of them, you find that the basic needs that they need you might not be able to meet. So put them first, but make sure that you pursue a career that would help you always put them first.
Yeah, well said. Henry?
Yeah, you know, I said when we started that good marriage, good career does not depend on the what we are doing. What determines your marriage is marrying the right person. And marrying the right person is an agreement and what you decide to do. What we are saying that career is important in everything we do. In as much as we want to keep our family, want to keep our job, we must strike a balance. We have talked about our work-life balance, which is a good one. But that you, as a man, you must allow your wife to fulfill that her dream and that passion she has. Because for her to be happy, if she's not happy, you cannot be happy at home. You cannot come back because you make big bucks to say, okay, don't work, I have everything. It doesn't work that way. You must strike a balance and make her happy because that little thing she earns goes a long way to put a lot of satisfaction, no matter how much you say you are going to pay her.
I will refer back to God. Marriage is an institution ordained by God. And even in the Bible, we have a case of Deborah. Deborah led the women on a war. And at that time she led the men on a war, she had a home. She had a husband. That was an understanding. And that was a career and to lead people to war. And she still came back and met the home intact. So it's the same thing. As a woman, you can still keep your home and your career. Planning, communication in the home, and at the same time, you must prioritize. It's very, very important. Time is it's limited. And once your time is limited, you must put priority to everything you do. You must set up a limit. And above all, the values, the cause. What are we going to, what are we aspiring to? What do we want, where do we want to reach in the future? Where do we want the children to be? Where do they want them to aspire to? Then the issue of, are they going to be consumer or are they going to be productive? Do you want your home to contribute to the economy or to consume? That is the question the two family must sit down and answer.
I think that is one thing that everybody agrees with. You must look at what you want and then look at what your partner is bringing to the table and see whether the two halves make one. I think that is the summary. Yeah. And where both of you see things the same way, whether the person decides that you sit at home and you agree or you go to work and you agree. Whatever decisions you take, it has to be done jointly, together, so that you can build a common vision for where you want your family to go. I guess that is the summary. Yeah. On that note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all my panelists. Doc, thank you very much for your insight. Songito, thank you very much. For comments and suggestions on this topic, please send us an email at insideoutwithagatha@yahoo.com or www.facebook.com/insideoutwithagatha, or follow us on Twitter at InsideOutMedia. I'd like to say a very big thank you to Kelu Image Consultant for my outfit, Bibi Ray Design for my design, Femi Audu for the makeup. And to my wonderful audience, thank you very much. Until next week when we come your way again talking about something else equally interesting, bye-bye and see you next week.